football. So it's going to be Bohemians getting us underway, playing from right to left in this truncated season. This is the second meeting of the sides this year in the league. 2-0 victory down at the RSC before we went into lockdown for Bohemians. And Mandrew actually scored on that particular occasion for Bohemians, and the Sam Bone own goal. Here's Wright with an early touch, but off target, and an early scare for the visitors. Brian Murphy in goal for Waterford. For the first time in almost 11 years, he was named as the goalkeeper of the year in each of his 3 seasons here with Bohemians, during which he collected 2 league titles, an FAI Cup and a League Cup, before Roy Keane brought him to Ipswich Town. So it's Murphy's kick out. Chance for Waterford to mount their first attack, but that's a misplaced ball out towards Curtis Byrne. And it's out for a throw for Bohemians. Second minute of the game, so a bright start from the home side, who would close to within 2 points of leaders Shamrock Rovers with a victory here, but they will have played one more game. The leaders Shamrock Rovers are in action at Cork City at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Kennedy wins the header. Andrew takes it nicely. Dan Casey this near side to Anto Breslin. Breslin up towards Andre Wright. Wright with 3 goals to his name in the league this season. It's cannoned off Ali Coote last. Ali Coote got his hair dyed. Goal scorer last week against St. Pat's wearing number 8. Here's O'Connor, dragged to the ground by Buckley. It's going to be a free kick on the halfway line for Waterford FC. Speculation that Fran Rocket even, and John Frost, the ex-player, Fran Rocket, the coach down at the RSC, will be offered the position as caretakers with the imminent departure of John Sheridan. That's the word on the line. A little nudge on JJ Lunny, and it's going to be a free kick deep inside the Bohemians' half of the field. A little cool in Dublin today, a little bit of a breeze whipping across the ground. This is the first chance for Steve McGuinness to get a touch on the ball. McGuinness is keeping the excellent James Talbot out of the side. Up over Buckley's head. Here's Wright. Nice take on, tries to play in Twardake on that far side, but just too much on it. Tyreek Wilson to take this throw on the far side, then midway inside the Waterford half of the field. Again, this surreal atmosphere around the ground. You hear the shouts of the players and the managers. Casey. Lyons. Or Breslin, I should say. And it rolls away from the foot of Danny Grant. Here's Coote. Byrne. Towards O'Connor. Casey got the call from Finnerty. And here's Sabuale. 37 years of age now, Brian Murphy. First time ball into the Bohemians half of the field. There was an expectation that Daryl Murphy might start tonight. Another 37-year-old back his second spell at the RSC, but he's not on the bench even tonight. So just the one change for Waterford then. Curtis Byrne in for the injured Sam Bone. Lions trying to play it through to Wright, but straight back to Murphy. Over the head of Matt Smith. Now for a throw. Headed on by Buckley. Here's Wright. Muscled out of it by Robbie Weir. Murphy. Closed down by Mandrew. Gets there first. And hurried clearance puts the ball straight out of play. Good pressing by Bohemians in the opening few minutes. And a chance for Danny Mandrew to add to his 3 league goals this season. Just missed by a whisker. Andy Lyons to take this throw. And here's Mandrew in for Keith Ward. In fact, Ward was substituted in the defeat to Shamrock Rovers last week by Mandrew. Manager Keith Long has decided to start Mandrew today, and it's a foul on Twardek. It's usually Mandrew who takes these dead balls, and he's gone over to that far side to take this free kick in front of the Jody stand. Waterford 5th in the SSE Electricity League Premier Division, 15 points from 10 games. And such is the tight nature of this league. They go 3rd behind second place Bohemians, 3 points behind second place Bohemians with a win today. Both themselves, as I mentioned, trying to close the gap between themselves and Shamrock Rovers, but game's running out. Mandrew, very flat ball, and it's easy in the end for Murphy. Shot come in from James Finnerty up for the back of the edge of the area. It was curling. Murphy saw it all the way. Down the line by Wilson towards Smith. Burns out this right-hand side. O'Connor's in the middle. Curtis Byrne out towards Smith on that far side. Too much on it. Bounces out of play. Perched high above the old Connacht stand for this game. Just 1 or 2 steers in there waiting for the ball to pop in. The rain across the Dublin Mountains we could see above the Jody stand before the game. It got a little shower before the match on the Dalymount Park pitch, which is in very good nick. It's been criticised heavily over the last couple of seasons, but with lockdown and the good weather we had during that, the ground staff here have done a terrific job, and it's in very good nick now. And a little shower of rain before the match won't have done it any harm either. And you can see in the middle of your picture John Sheridan, former Irish international, very short tenure at the RSC. On his way to Wigan, who've been allowed to start their season in League One in England on Sunday. On way to the Tractor Boys. Clearance by Jake Davidson. Here's Smith. Waterford under pressure in the early couple of minutes, just starting to settle into the game now. Subwale. Off Byrne. There's Casey. Only one thing on his mind, to get that forward towards Twardek. Beaten to it on that occasion by Wilson. Here's Mandrew. Cannons off the back of Ali Coote. Here's O'Connor. Next to Shamrock Rovers, battling hard for the ball in the centre of the park. The Waterford captain. Ooh, challenges going in. Strong challenges too. And Twardek has already been brought to the ground a few minutes previous to that challenge by Wilson, so the referee just going to have a little word with him just to settle things down. There's no doubt about it, the width that Bohemians possess, and the likes of Danny Grant and Chris Twardike, the ex-Sligo man, the Canadian, causes problems for defence, and Shamrock Rovers really shut them down last week in that top of the table clash. And Tala, only once really in the whole game did Grant get around the back. So Mandrew and Lunny together over on that far side. It's going to be Mandrew to float one in towards the back post. Casey's waiting, gets his head to it. Casey, and easy in the end for Murphy. Just couldn't get the power in it, a big centre half. Towards Byrne. A wrestling match between himself and Anto Breslin. Sabuale does well, takes it on his chest in front of Grant. Coote. Coote needs a bit of support here. Buckley. Oh, right. How can he handle that? If he didn't see it, let it go. Here's Buckley. Lunny. Finnerty. Andrew looking for a bit of movement in front of him, and he's picked out Twardike, has he? No, the ball just skips away off the greasy surface and out for a throw on that far side. It was a lovely little chip ball over the top from Danny Mandrew, but just ran away from Chris Twardike. Wilson's throw. Mandrew. That's a handball against Weir. That's going to be a free kick. They've had 3 free kicks in this pretty similar position. Andrew's previous delivery, a good one to Casey. Casey's trotting forward again. Right's on the edge of the area. Lunny's still over there with Mandrew. Referee Damien McGrath gets the wall back the necessary, and that came off Weir last. He just took a foot out of it, and from Waterford's point of view, lucky that wasn't more of a deflection. Wasn't the greatest of free kicks from Andrew, far too flat, but Weir stuck out a left leg and it just grazed it straight into the arms of Murphy. Sabuale. There's Ali Coote into the hairdressers. I was looking for the offside, didn't come. Here's Mandrew. In the way, the strong challenge was Robbie McCourt. And it's Buckley who feels the pain. It's going to be a free kick for Bohemians in the centre circle. Charging forward down the left-hand side is Anto Breslin. Sabuale. Got right for company. I wonder if he claimed that, because Sabuale looked like he knocked it off Andre Wright last, and Byrne demonstrated with the assistant who agreed with him on this near side. O'Connor. And here's Wilson. First read involved in the game for John Martin, wearing 12 for Waterford. The greatest of touches. Here's Finnerty. Peal of the bells from the church behind the ground. 6 o'clock. Here's Danny Grant, gets inside the Sabuale. Grant again. Ooh. And he was inside the penalty area, and that was a telling interception. Grant was allowed to go an awful long way, got around Sabuale far too easily. So that's the threat that Danny Grant can give you. The Player of the Month, SSE Electricity Soccer Writers of Ireland Player of the Month for August was Danny Grant. Scored an excellent goal against Finn Harps to win up at Finn Park in Ballybuffet. Subwale takes the throw. Subwale was actually on that list of 6 players recommended by the soccer writers, but in the end it was Danny Grant who got the nod. And here is Grant again, and here is Subwale standing in front of him. Grant, nice little step over inside towards Mandrew. Here's Twardek trying to get the shot in. Twardek charged down by Wilson. Bohs pressing at every opportunity in towards right. Burns struggling to keep it in play, can't do so. Breslin takes the throw. Grant, Breslin still with him. Grant tries to go through the eye of the needle. The two Waterford players converge on him, and Grant goes over. 1 or 2 shouts looking for a penalty. Don't think anybody was seriously considering giving one there, and the referee, Damien McGrath, waves it away. Over the quarter-hour mark, remains at 0-0. Nearest to coming to a goal was that Mandrew effort, just skimmed the post. And here's Mandrew, and right, and Mandrew again. Grant's outside of him. Sometimes they play a bit of keep ball, and Subwale and Byrne this time together in combination bring down Mandrew. There's a bit of a breeze behind Mandrew, so it might fancy this. Andrew Lunny for company as well, 2 on the wall. Byrne and Coote, so he does fancy it, but easy for the goalkeeper. We have another game today. It's up in Oriel Park, the champions. But, the crown is certainly slipping at the moment. Dundalk, they're at home to Shelburne. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. You see highlights of that on Monday on Soccer Republic. Over the weekend then on Watch LOI, it's Cork versus Shamrock Rovers. That's a 2 o'clock start tomorrow at Turner's Cross. Then another match tomorrow evening is St. Patrick's Athletic against Sligo Rovers. Sligo on a terrific run. Amazing to think they lost their first 4 games before lockdown, and now climbing up the table. So it'll be a real tester for Stephen O'Donnell and St. Pat's tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. And then on Sunday, the final game of the weekend is Finn Harps against Derry City, the North West Derby, 5 o'clock at Finn Park. Those games are on Watch LOI. Here's Subwale. Subwale might fancy a shot, but onto his weaker left foot, and eventually it's cleared. All the details of those matches, by the way, you can check out online, watchloi.ie. That's watchloi.ie. Soccer Republic, Monday on RTE2 television. Here's Twardek. Timmy Subwale. Irish under 17 international Subwale. Buckley. Got clipped by O'Connor. That was late. O'Connor, slightly fortuitous. He didn't see yellow there. That was late on Buckley. Here's Mandrew. Oh, into Grant. Flags up. Good save in the end by Murphy, but I think Grant had already spotted that the flag was up on the far side. It was a lovely ball from Mandrew, but Grant couldn't beat the offside trap. Yeah, referee McGrath having a word with Murphy, something he said, and maybe a bit of time wasting, but anyway, it was a pretty strong talking to by the referee for the goalkeeper. Here's Weir. And now Byrne. McCourt picks out Smith on that far side. Placed by Lyons. Here's Weir. Mandrew did enough to put him off. Weir was just trying to chip the ball into the 6-yard box, I suspect, on that particular occasion, or maybe thought about a shot. In the end, it was nothing. And harmlessly went wide. But it was pressure from Mandrew. Here's Byrne. Bounces favourably for the Waterford number 20. Breslin for company. Hammers it off Breslin, but it doesn't go out of play. Now it does. Breslin prevents the corner, but concedes the throw. Coote. Off Lunny. Dark clouds overhead, but not suggestion of rain at the moment, thankfully. So the dry, if breezy evening here at Daleyman Park. The floodlights are on. As we move further into the autumn, and Subali runs the ball out of play. It wasn't a great throw by Breslin. Put Lundy under pressure. And in the end, Casey had to help him out. Coote. Forced backwards by Lunny. Davidson's ball forward. Finnerty's header. Here's Wilson. Wilson! McGuinness has to make the save. Byrne! Well, an excellent effort from Tyreek Wilson up from the back on that left-hand side. And the first bit of action that Stephen McGuinness has seen in the Bohemians' goal. It was a terrific save. Parried it straight to the feet, though, of Curtis Byrne. Byrne swung at it and missed. The first decent attack we've seen from Waterford, and an excellent save from Stephen McGuinness to keep it at 0-0. That'll give Waterford something to aim at. Second best for most of this game so far. Here's Grant. Davidson stuck out the tone, diverted it out of play. Next Friday night, incidentally, the live match on RT2 television will be Sligo Rovers against today's hosts Bohemians. Likely showgrounds next Friday night, presented by Tony O'Donoghue. Interception by Wilson. Here's Coote. Coote fancies this from distance, deflected! It came off Casey last. And Waterford take the lead. It was a speculative shot from Ali Coote, who got a goal against St. Pat's last week. Deflected under the body of Stephen McGuinness. And in the 24th minute, it's Waterford who take a surprise lead. It's Bohemians 0, Waterford 1. And Ali Coote credited with the goal, but a deflection of Casey on the edge of the area certainly did for Bohs there. And they trail now by a goal to 0. And that'll shake things up. Well, they used to say if you can see the whites of the goal, have a ping, you never know what might happen, and that's exactly what happened on that occasion. Coote will claim it, but it needed that deflection of Casey to divert it past McGuinness. John Sheridan's last game in charge. It's the Blues, or the Whites that they are today, who lead by 1-0. Casey. Sabwale. Oh, nice little step over by the fullback. He's got Grant behind him. And he's just to squirt the ball clear. And out to Smith now on that left-hand side. Here's Coote again. Might fancy it this time. Left-footed. Hammers off Finnerty. Mandrew. Real Skyer from Murphy. Header by Lunny. And Mandrew pushed over by John Martin. And a free kick in a dangerous enough position for the home side. Rocked by that 24th minute goal. Once again, it's Mandrew and Lunny giving Bohs the option of either a left or a right-footed effort. Say my money's on Mandrew. There he is, up and over the wall. Hits the side netting. Murphy may have had that covered. He would have been expecting that from Danny Mandrew. The only change in the Bohemian side today, in for Keith Ward, who's on the bench. Close again from the Irish under 21 international. Future at Bohemians perhaps in question for Danny Mandrew. Will he move on at the end of the season? Certainly one of the star names at Dalymount Park. Coote, goal scorer. 2-2 now for the man with the light hair. Finnerty. Buckley, the man furthest forward there. Didn't reach him. Intercepted and cleared by Robbie McCourt. Twardek. McCourt again. O'Connor can't keep it in play. Waterford have seen off the early challenge of Bohemians to take that lead and feel they're growing in confidence. Here's Coote. Invites the run of Byrne inside Breslin. Didn't quite come off, but the intention was good. Davidson rolls it back to Murphy. Very successful career here at Dalymount Park for Brian Murphy. And back at Waterford, headed on by O'Connor. Casey. Twardek is intended target. And towards right. Right-handed though, Twardek couldn't get forward. And easy for Murphy. Battle between Finnerty and O'Connor continues. Up towards Byrne. Sabwale, no, he's tracked all the way by Grant. Byrne. Davidson. Coote. Byrne. Tight. Good play. Coote. Up to Byrne. Breslin's with him. Can he hammer it off him again and get something for the visiting side? Yes, he can. Gets a throw. Well, that moment in the game which probably changed things was when Tyreek Wilson got forward and hammered a shot in which McGuinness saved, and it just gave Waterford a bit of impetus, and they've continued that on, scoring the goal through Coote, who's on the ball now. That's a deflected cross. Finnerty got something on it. Smith rolls it back to Weir, or to Wilson, I should say. Twardek goes to ground, but that's good stuff by Wilson. It's good defending. Hennig is the wrong way, up towards Byrne. Lets it run to Coote. Coote might fancy another shot here, perhaps. Oh, and it crashes off the crossbar. The shot from John Martin. I'm not sure if McGuinness got his fingertips to that, but it bounced away off the crossbar. And it was also close to being 2-0. Fine effort from John Martin. Didn't get its rewards. And Bohs happy to see the ball bounce off the crossbar. And remains 1-0 to Waterford. And the ball was O'Connor. Casey in the way. Here's Buckley. Bohs need to regroup. Here's Grant. And Sabwale for company again. Lovely ball to pick out Grant. Grant has the speed, we know that, but Sabwale stuck to his task and earns the corner. And Grant goes to ground. He fell heavily after that challenge from Sabwale, who goes over to check and see if the Bohs winger's okay. I think he'll be all right. It was a strong old challenge for Sabwale, who stuck to his task very well. It's a corner. First one of the game for Bohemians on the left-hand side, which Mandrew will take. Starting to get darker here at Daleyman Park. The lights are illuminating. Twardek at the back post was the intended target, but nicked away from him and out for another corner by McCourt. Mandrew charges from one side of the field to the other to take this second consecutive corner for the home side, who trail by a goal to 0. Ali Coote's goal in the 24th minute, the one that separates the sides. Mandrew then to take this corner for Bohemians. Smith with a header away. Back to Mandrew. Time to measure up the cross. Too much on it. Wright was lurking, but Murphy happy to see that ball out of play. And there's the Bohemians manager, Keith Long. 3 defeats so far this season for Bohemians in the league, but the one that'll hurt the most was last week when they went down to that 1-0 defeat to Shamrock Rovers. Davidson. There seems to be some chanting going on outside of the ground. We can hear some supporters singing, so I don't know where they are because they're out of our sight, but behind the Jody stand, there sounds like there are some supporters outside of the ground. And some of the matches I've done this year have seen supporters arrive at games, and Finn Park in particular, where Bohemians and St. Pat's supporters made the long journey up from Dublin to stand outside the ground and watch the game from outside the railings. No supporters as yet allowed into League of Ireland games. Hopefully that will change in the next little while. The eeriest of eeriest seasons in the SSE Electricity League Premier Division. And the team in second place are trailing the team in fifth by a goal to 0. There's a rare old battle going on between Twardek and Wilson out there. Opposition bench in unison, up on their feet to complain about Twardek's challenge. He's been giving as good as he got. It's a good battle between himself and Wilson. The referee has a word with the Canadian. And a free kick for Waterford, just inside their own half. And McCourt's going to take this. As we approach the last 10 minutes of this opening half, of Waterford leading by a goal to 0. Deflects off O'Connor's head to Byrne. In fact, it came off the Bohs player last, so throw for the visitors. Back to Byrne. Plenty of time to measure up across. O'Connor is lurking at the back post. Oh, just nicked away from him by Finnerty. And Twardek takes the ball away from Wilson. Wilson. Finnerty's header. Sabuale on his chest. Here's Buckley and now Grant. Andre Wright's had a quiet first half. Does well though to keep control of the ball. Mandrew sees Grant. Too much on it and easy for Murphy. Chance to launch a counter-attack for the visitors and Sabuale. Buckley. Grant's onside. This will be interesting. He's got Twardick up with him. Oh, just that heavy touch. Just offered it too much to Jake Davidson. And as an attempt to rectify his mistake, Grant fouled the Waterford man. And he got himself a free kick. But you can see the danger. Danny Grant running at defences like that. But just that touch let him down. Headed by Finnerty. Coote. O'Connor allowed to turn. Out to Byrne. Subuale put the ball back, kind of took the impetus out of the attack. Here's O'Connor though. Foul by Twardick. Again on Wilson. One of those two is bound to see a yellow card. And there's one. And it's gone to Chris Twardick. And he's the first player in the referee's notebook. And it comes to no surprise that either Wilson or Twardick are going to be booked in this game. So a little tightrope to be walked then by Twardick. Wilson. Casey's clearance. Here's Danny Grant. And now Buckley out to right. Finnerty. Lyons. Twardick. And now Mandrew. O'Connor. Header on by O'Connor. Here's Grant. I think Larry, the PA announcer, has been trying to play a bit of music in the middle of the game. Mandrew. Grace the Bohs. Weir intercepts O'Connor. Well done by O'Connor. Here's Byrne. Going to try and find Smith out on that far side. Wilson. Some nice football out there from Waterford. Bohs really were in the ascendancy in the opening, 20 minutes of the game, but Waterford certainly have bossed the latter part of the first half. You have to say on the balance, really, they deserve to be leading by that goal to nil. Danny Mandrew has offered danger at the other end. But here's O'Connor. And now Coote might fancy the shot again. Charged down by Casey. Grant. Lovely interception header by Wilson. Anticipated that really well. He's having a very good game, the fullback. Here's Wilson trying to get the cross in. Blocked by Lyons on this occasion. Tyreek Wilson's having a great game out there, having to contend with the speed of the tall Chris Twardick and getting forward himself on occasions. Doing extremely well. He's got to take this throw then on the far side. front of the Mules to Bob Marley and Phil Linnett. Wilson throws it to Smith, and Smith unfortunately runs it out of play from the visitors' point of view. Inside the last 5 minutes then, here at Dalymount Park, and Waterford leading by a goal to nil. Here's Twardek. Buckley. Casey. Right. I felt he was clipped by Davidson after he let it go. McCourt forced to go back to Murphy. It's a little casual by Murphy, but he does pick up McCourt. Andrews claiming that ball's out of play. Oh, that was very late from Danny Mandrew, and he could be in real trouble here. He was claiming the ball was out of play initially, and he's lucky. He got a yellow card, but that was very, very late by Danny Mandrew on Robbie McCourt. And he gets a yellow card for that frustration and a bit of petulance from Mandrew. You could have seen a more severe caution for that, because that was a strong challenge and unwarranted as well. Deep, deep, deep inside the Waterford half of the field. McCourt's okay. Second Bohemians player to see yellow in this opening half. Twardek and now Mandrew. Sabawale. O'Connor, big strong man. O'Connor does well to hold and retain possession at the Smith. Weir. Sabawale. Sabala did the sensible thing. He was crowded out of it. And sensible path was back to his goalkeeper. By the way they're facing. Casey with a header. Sabala underneath it with Buckley. Bohs captain comes off second best there. Here's Coote. Coote still going. Fancies it. Ooh, just wide. On his weaker left foot. Not great defending from Bohs, allowing the goal scorer to go along the line and get the shot in. And McGuinness, who, remember, saw a shot from John Martin bounce off the crossbar in this opening half. Relieved to see that one go wide. Last couple of minutes of this opening half. Waterford leading by a goal to nil. That's a push by Buckley. So just getting a little frustrated out there. But the way the match has unfolded in this opening of 45s, Keith Long will have words at half-time, trying to settle his team down. They played some lovely football this season, Bohemians, but were frustrated by Shamrock Rovers last week. He got the early goal, and outside of one moment really in the game where Grant set up Lunny. And Bohs played second best. That's allowed to bounce through to Murphy. The last minute of the opening half we go with Bohemians trailing. Andrews header. So a nice tidy up play at the back as well from Bohemian, or from Waterford I should say. Here's Weir. Tries a handball and the referee spots that. Weir just let it roll down his arm. Bohs will be anxious to get on with this. They've only got a couple of seconds left in the opening half. Andrews far too close to Lunny. Here's Casey. Buckley's outside of him, and also Breslin. Here he is. Casey. Oh, under pressure from O'Connor, gives the ball away. And now he fouls him. Casey can't really complain there. 1 minute of additional time. We're into that now. Casey cannot complain there. He was poor from the centre half. He allowed O'Connor to nick the ball away from him, and anxious not for the big striker to get any further forward. He fouled them, and it's in a very good position for Waterford. Byrne and Tyreek Wilson standing over the ball. It's got to be Wilson. Oh, what a goal! And what a finish to the opening half. Well, it did say that he had a terrific game, and that's how to cap it. In injury time in the first half, a beautiful free kick from the Waterford fullback, up and over the wall, and McGuinness could do absolutely nothing about the ball, planting itself in the bottom corner. And the half-time whistle goes, and that's better side in the first half. Bohs started well enough. Danny Mandrew shaved the post with a shot from the edge of the area, but Waterford really grew into the game. Tyreek Wilson tested the Bohs keeper, Stephen McGuinness, before a deflected Ali Coote shot put Waterford ahead on 24 minutes. John Martin then bounced a shot off the Bohs bar before Wilson made it 2-0 at the break with a sublime left-footed free kick in first half injury time. No changes at half-time for either side. Waterford playing in the all-white strip. Immediately into the attack with John Martin. Here's Matt Smith. Good work from Smith. And inside Finnerty. Challenge on Andre Wright is not to the referee's liking. Free kick for Bohemians, who could do with a strong start here. And Ali Coote's going to see yellow for intercepting the ball going back, so that's the first yellow card for a Waterford player. We've had two in the first half. Chris Twardek and Danny Mandrew in the referee's notebook. So Finnerty with this free kick for Bohemians. It's Murphy, Brian Murphy that is, comes an awful long way to the edge of the area, and an easy catch for the 37-year-old. Just the one change for Bohemians ahead of today's game. Danny Mandrew in for Keith Ward, who drops to the bench. And one change for Waterford, an enforced one as well. It was Sam Bone, the defender, out with a hamstring injury. He's been replaced by Curtis Byrne, but is meant to change in the formation for Waterford, with Byrne starting on the right-hand side. John Sheridan is here, last game in charge of Waterford FC before he moves to Wigan on Sunday. And we've got a game at Ipswich Town in League One. He's expected to be there. Here's Smith. Wilson goes off on a run, tracked by Grant. Headed by Casey's not a good one. Here's Coote. Deflected off Casey. And out for a corner on the first half in 24 minutes. There was a shot from Coote that was deflected by Casey past McGuinness to give Waterford the opening goal. So corner for the excellent Tyreek Wilson, who worked tirelessly in the first half and scored a beautiful goal from a free kick in first half injury time. Going to take it on this left-hand side. Wilson. That's headed a play by Casey. Under a little pressure from Byrne. Second corner then for the visitors, who shaky enough start in the game. A lot of shots came in from Danny Mandrew in the early part of the game, but there was a shot by Wilson that was saved by McGuinness in the opening half. It's really pushed the Blues forward. It's not a great corner. It's gone straight to Buckley, headed on by Wright. Weir, though, mops up. Back to Sabuale. Will probably just roll it back to his goalkeeper. Brian Murphy playing here at Dalymount Park for the first time in almost 11 years. 2 league titles to his name here at Bohemians. Won a FAI Cup and a League Cup medal as well before moving to Ipswich Town. Interesting, yesterday Danny Grant was presented with the Player of the Month award, and there were 2 direct provision residents in Jackie Zabanda and Sharon Moyer who were in attendance here at Dalymount Park yesterday as Grant picked up that award. Zabanda and Moyer were representing Maasai as they collected 35 laptops which were purchased with profits raised from the Refugees Welcome Away jersey sales. There's been a change for Bohemians, and Lunny has gone off. Here's Coote. Conor Livingston, who's on the books at Wolves for a while, is on as a replacement early in the second half. We're only in the 6th minute of the second half. Lunny off and Livingston on. Here's Casey. Steps inside Byrne. And now Wright. Twardick and Grant have switched wings in the second half. Here's Wright still. Tries to play it back towards Mandrew. Probably the better ball might have been to Grant, lurking on the edge of the 6-yard box. Smith. O'Connor. Back to Smith again. Wilson. O'Connor spreads it out to Sabuale. Twardick in the way. Davidson back to Murphy. It was a very good initiative from Bohemians, selling those Refugees Welcome Away jerseys, and presenting those 35 laptops as well to Maasai. Very generous gesture on their part. And congratulations to Danny Grant as well, winning the Player of the Month. And there's another fixture this evening. It's Dundalk against Shells. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Again, you can see highlights of which on Monday in Soccer Republic. Games on Watch LOI after this one this weekend. This Cork against Shamrock Rovers. That's a 2 o'clock start tomorrow down in Turner's Cross. The leaders with a chance to extend their lead. If it's, well, in fact, they will extend their lead if they can get something out of that game, even a point. Also Pats against Sligo, 5 o'clock tomorrow. Richmond, and Finn Harps against Derry City in the Northwest Derby, 5 o'clock on Sunday at Finn Park. All of those games outside of Dundalk against Shells on Watch LOI. WatchLOI.ie is where you'll find details of how to get the half-season pass to see out the remainder of the season. Or you can purchase one-off games as well. Here's Livingston with his first touch. Lyons back to Livingston again. Wilson should have that run out of play. Goal kick. Second meeting of the sides. First on the 21st of February at the RFC in the league. Bohs won that 2-0. Andrew got a goal. Sam Bone absent today. O'Geed. Much better performance this time around from Waterford. 3-0 victors against St. Pat's last week. Rather luck on occasions, but defended well. Pats were kicking themselves. They didn't get something out of that game. They've now scored 5 in the last 2. Here's Smith. Coote. Oh, that's a run away from himself. Wins it back though. Plays it out to Byrne. He's got O'Connor waiting in the centre. Pulls it back to the edge of the penalty area. Mopped up by Grant. And now Wright. Grant keeps going. Can he keep it in play? No, he can't. He throws back his head in frustration. Tariq Wilson, who had a wonderful first half and scored an absolutely brilliant free kick in first half injury time to make it 2-0. Takes that throw. Livingston up and over the top. Subwale, little nudge from Twardek. Subwale does really well though. Subwale, oh, lovely stuff from the Waterford fullback. There's Coote. Subwale keeps going. Byrne. Smith's at the left-hand side. Too much on it. That was promising. Excellent play by Timmy Subwale. Seen Waterford a few times this year. This is the best I've seen them play. Bohs would be disappointed with their performance. Really haven't been a factor in this game outside of the opening, say, 15 minutes of the game when this man, Mandrew, was a real threat. Tries to thread it through to Wright. Good defending by the visitors. Getting a little brighter here at Daneyman Park as we move into the evening. There seems to be a break in the clouds away to our right-hand side. Make it a nice finish to the evening, which would be nice. Livingston, off to Wright, too much on it. Well, Waterford started today's game 5th. 15 points from the 10 games played. If it stays this way, they'll go 3rd, 3 points behind Bohemians. Those have lost 3 games so far this season. They have 21 points from their 10 games played. They're looking to close to within 2 points of the leaders, Shamrock Rovers, with a win here. They have a mountain to climb. And that's a foul by O'Connor. And Casey came off second best there. Right in the bridge of the nose. It's the sort of thing. Well, prior to today's game, Bohemians had only conceded 2 goals at home so far this season. No side had conceded fewer. Double that in this game. McGuinness. Wright got something on that. Here's Mandrew. Waterford are fighting for every ball. Brilliant stuff from Curtis Byrne just to open up the play and play in Matt Smith. Wilson's overlapping. Here is Wilson. Into O'Connor. And it's a goal kick. O'Connor's claiming the corner. But that was a quick break and brilliant play by Curtis Byrne out on that right-hand side. Fizzed it over this near side to Smith. Wilson overlapped. Played it into O'Connor. Back to goal. Just couldn't quite get the direct shot that he needed to get it on target. Playing the corner, didn't get it. Bohs are at 6 and 7s here. This is very good stuff from Waterford. Bells peal in the background. 7 o'clock in the evening at Daneyman Park in this SSE Electricity League Premier Division game. Well into the second part of this shortened season. Next up for Bohs, they're Sligo away. That's a game you can see live on RT2 television. Sligo on a tremendous run themselves after losing their opening 4 games. That's next week for Bohemians. Then they're at home to Derry, and they've got a away game at North Dublin Derby against Shelbourne. That's their next 3 games in the league. For Waterford, Well, they got Shamrock Rovers at home on Monday week in the league. That'll be interesting the way Waterford are playing these days. Give the leaders a fair old rattle if they can continue in this vein. That's on Monday week, and then they've got Shelburne at home and Cork City away. Buckley's clearance up to right. Buckley. Oh, nice interception by Wilson. He's asking too much of Twardek. Wilson's been my man of the match. Scored a terrific goal. And his battle with Twardek in the first half was brilliant. They've switched Grant onto him now. And Wilson's continued in that vein. Area centre of your shot. And he'll take this throw inside the Bohemians' half of the field. Time ticking on in Waterford's favour. That's the quarter-hour mark of the second half. Good turn by O'Connor. O'Connor trying to track along the ground, back to Coote. Yes, shot in the first half. It's deflected off Casey. It was a much better effort than that one. Scuffed his shot wide. Remains 2-0 to the visitors. Actually, Waterford are unbeaten in their last 4 visits to Dalyman Park. Now they're going to make it 5. Casey was too slow coming to that ball. All he could do is prod it forward. And it's mopped up nicely by Robbie McCourt. Finnerty. Lyons. Grant. Rikes climbing all over Weir, according to our referee, Damien McGrath. Our assistants today are Mark Gavin and Shane O'Brien, with Adriano Rail, the 4th official. Head coach today for Waterford, we know, is John Sheridan, on his way to Wigan. Talk before the game is that Fran Rocket, the coach of Waterford, and ex-player John Frost will be given the role to the caretaker manager, or managers, till the end of the current campaign. That's just speculation, not confirmed. Pushed by Livingston, or on Livingston by Weir, and I think it wasn't Weir, he was shown the yellow card. It was John Martin who got it. Yes, it was John Martin who saw the yellow. Bohs need a goal. Get themselves back into this. Up towards Twardek. Beaten to it by Sabuale. Mandrew. Twardek. In towards right. There's a good strong intercepted header there by McCourt. Here's Grant. That footed straight into the midriff of Brian Murphy. Not the greatest of clearances by Murphy by any stretch of the imagination, straight out of play. Bohs need a spark. Need somebody like Mandrew or Grant just to light things up for themselves and get a goal and get back into the game. And at the moment, Waterford defending extremely well. Wilson in particular on the left-hand side, Subwale on the other, have been excellent for the visiting side. Here's Weir. And rolls it back to Murphy. Don't forget they're missing Sam Bone, regular centre half as well. He's out with a hamstring injury. Here's O'Connor. Smith. Wilson. Chance to measure one up. And it wasn't the best by John Martin. It's kept in play by Byrne. Subwale behind him. Up to Coote. There's too much on it. It's going to roll out of play. Another heavy cloud and cold air that has been with us at Dailyman Park. Seems to be just rolling away a little bit. Away in the distance to our right hand side. The sky's brightening. Lions. Coote was on the ground. Now Livingston to pick up the ball freely. Twardek. Breslin on the overlap. And he earns himself on his side a corner. It's presumably Mandrew will take. Coote's back on his feet. So it's going to be Danny Mandrew to take it. On that far side. For Bohemians. Mandrew. Oh, Murphy with a nice catch. Under pressure from Buckley. Good goalkeeping. You see Smith off on the run. Smith doesn't know where it's gone. It's actually come off the back of his head last, and it's going to be a throw for Bohemians. There's going to be I thought it was going to be a substitution actually, but there's a temporary hold up out of your shot over on the far side. Ali Coote's gone off to, I think it's repair his boot. So Waterford temporarily down to 10 players. You can see Coote there just trying to repair the footwear. Here's Buckley. Can the Bohemians captain inspire them to a comeback? Here's Mandrew, placed by Weir. Mandrew, that's not a great pass by Mandrew. Booked in the first half. Bit of petulance on his part. Perhaps could have seen red for it. It's a strong challenge deep inside the Waterford half of the field. He got yellow for it. Here's Twardek. Back towards Breslin. Byrne came an awful long way back to do the interception. Coote's back on the field. Here he is. Wright. He's been shackled well in this game. Andre Wright, scorer of 3 goals this season in the league for Bohemians. Hasn't had a chance really all day. Grant. And he's run into by Wilson. Now that should be a free kick. Really body check by Wilson. The referee let it go. Here's O'Connor. Finnerty was under pressure. Here's Coote. Byrne. Wilson is in his full-back position. That looked like another foul. Referee, that one goes well. Here comes Mandrew coming forward. It's definitely a foul. No! Unbelievable. Looked like pushing the back from John Martin. The referee let that one go as well. Determined to let the play go on. Damien McGrath. He's the man with the whistle. Doesn't matter what I say. Here's Subwale. Smith is the intended target, but Lyons in the way. Grant and now Finnerty. Get ball towards Livingston. Subwale was in the way. Anto Breslin. Here's Twardek. Here's Danny Mandrew. Cushioned header by Lyons. And Lyons again. Back to Buckley. A lot of pressing by the home side. With no end product at the moment. Twardek. Livingston. Casey. Let's get up and over the Des Kelly stand at the back and rolls out onto the road. It's a shot of a centre half, unfortunately. Casey swung her foot at it and In another code, it might be take your points. The goals will come later. There's a change for Waterford. And their captain's going off. O'Connor. And it's number 15, Dean Walsh, in his place. First substitution for the side leading 2-0. It was in the 25th minute of the second half. "23 years of age, Dean Walsh. Played in the local leagues, both Dennisal and Villa FC. Joined the Blues under 19 squad for the 2015 season. Come through the ranks, so he's the first substitution now on for Waterford. Another substitution for Bohemians. Andre Wright's off. And there's Glenn McCauley on in his place. Second sub for Bohemians. And ball given against Grant, who protests. And it's going to be Curtis Byrne to take this free kick for Bohemians. Just the one player standing in front of him, which is Grant. Towards the back post, and it bounces away off the post. Claims of handball. Referee lets that one go too. I think it was John Martin lurking at the back post where his effort. That's the second one. It's come back off the woodwork today for Waterford. Martin in the first half with a shot. That one more of a deflected effort. So Glenn McCauley on, 20-year-old Dubliner. Glenn McCauley on stage was with St. Pat's. Spent a few years with Liverpool, Glenn McCauley, and capped at underage level for the Republic of Ireland. Waterford still holding this 2-0 advantage into the 28th minute of the second half. Both goals in the first half. Weir up towards Smith, headed away by Finnerty. Here's Coote. Pushed by Mandrew. The referee took just a second to see if there was any advantage accruing. But it was certainly a push in the back by Mandrew on Coote. Mandrew just got to be careful out there, booked in the first half. Oh, Wilson scored a wonderful free kick in the first half. Slightly nearer, but this kind of same angle in the first half. They won't take the ball off him. Again, having scored that goal. So it's going to be Wilson again. Wilson! Oh, he's hit the post as well. That's 3 times in this game that Waterford have hit the woodwork. The bar in the first half, and twice the post has rescued Bohemians in the second. Headed by Weir. Guinness comes from his line. Macaulay's header on towards Twardek. But Sobowa's had a very good game. And he comes away with the ball. Of course, as soon as I said that, he loses it. Here's Mandrew. Trying to get the ball around Jake Davidson, didn't work. Mandrew, though, mops up. Just over 15 minutes to play now. Here's Smith, steps inside Buckley. Could do with a bit of support here, Smith. He does really well to keep control of the ball and playing Wilson. Dean Walsh is ahead of him, but here's Wilson. Tries to smack one in, this time with the right boot. Deflects back to Smith. And the intention was good, the execution wasn't. Well, that defeat to Shamrock Rovers last week just may have knocked the stuffing out of Bohemians. With a win in Tala last week, they would have gone top. As it was, they dropped 5 points behind Shamrock Rovers. And they were outfoxed by Stephen Bradley last week. I was talking to Stephen after the game, suggested that they won the game ugly, and he agreed. He said that sometimes that you could play really well and get all the plaudits and lose the match. He was quite content to take the 3 points against his big Dublin rival and extend their lead at the top of the SSE Electricity League Premier Division. And they've got Cork City tomorrow. Win there. Oh, but I reckon seal the title. Buckley wins the battle between himself and Smith, but Smith gets up well and doesn't give up. In his effort to get the ball back, he fouls Buckley. If Bohs are going to score, it's probably needed to do it around now. With 14 minutes to go, trailing by 2-0. There's going to be a double substitution now for Bohemians. So Mandrew is coming off and Ward is coming on. You can see him on the left-hand side. Mandrew off and Ward on. Busy little player. Danny Grant's gone off as well. And Thomas Moucher is on in his stead. Last throw of the dice then for Bohemians with a double substitution. Moucher, his first touch. Ward, away by Weir. Wilson hurried into the attempted clearance. All screwed off the side of his foot, but Murphy was able to mop it up. Ward didn't get the shout. Smith took it off him. Ward. Twardek now moved again back to the right wing. Has he got a corner? Yes, he has. With Mandrew gone off, it'll be Ward to take it. Just waiting for Casey and Finnerty to come up from the back. Ward with the corner, and it was Scher with the header, but he couldn't force it home. He got something on it, but just not enough, and Waterford able to clear their lines. Here's Ward, plants it back in again. McCauley with the header, deflects away for another corner. Ward to take it in front of the Des Kelly stand. That's easy for Murphy. Just too near the goalkeeper. Some distance up towards Walsh. Can't keep it in play though. Coming up on 10 minutes to play at Dalymount Park. Waterford 2-0 up, and also have hit the crossbar and the post twice in this game. We're under pressure from McCauley. Gets it forward to Walsh. Here's Smith. Placed by Lyons. And Smith can keep ball here. Just heat up a few seconds. Definitely fouled his man. It's going to be Buckley to take this. Takes it short to Lyons. Lyons got plenty of room in which to move into the Waterford half of the field and play it up to Ward. Ward's ball is a poor one. It's a lazy 1-2 from the substitute. Ward cuts in field. To Livingston. He's come off the Waterford player last. Sabuale. He just tried to shepherd it out of play. It didn't come off. Breslin made his presence felt. It's got to be Ward to take this now on the far side. Good strong header away by Weir. Now to Ward. Umasher. Livingston. Here's Breslin. Breslin towards Casey, but headed away by McCourt. All the pressure now on the away side as they sit deep, inviting Bohemians onto them. They need a goal. Here's Ward, capable of getting one, of course. And a shot from Finnerty. Doesn't have the required power to beat Brian Murphy in the Waterford goal. Might have a nice end to the evening here now as the clouds start to part away to our right hand side, up towards Walsh, takes it on his chest, invites Smith to come forward. Smith does well to keep the ball in play and then play it down the line to Walsh. Smith's behind him. O'Connor's gone off, you know, so Walsh has replaced him up top. And Coote under pressure from McCauley, puts it straight out of play. It's going to be another substitution then for Waterford. Last substitution that Sean Sheridan's going to make as a manager for Waterford, it would seem. And off goes John Martin. And on in his place will come Niall O'Keefe. Martin smacked the ball off the crossbar with a wonderful shot in the first half and hit the post with a deflected effort in the second. He's done his job. Nice little pat for the manager. Here's Twardek. Cawley's the intended outlet ball. But, there's Sabuale in the way. First touch for O'Keefe. Tries to play it down to Byrne. Breslin. All right, throughout this game, when Bohs try to get the ball forward, there's always been a foot in the way or a defender for the visitors. They've had a terrific game. Best I've seen them play this year. Waterford bossed the latter part of the first half. There's good chances as well in the second half, hitting the post twice, and have defended well in numbers. If they win here, and it's looking more and more likely now as the time ticks by, they'll move up to third. 3 points behind Bohs. As we come up to 5 minutes to go at Dalymount Park. Macaulay's header on to Ward. Twardek. Showed too much of the ball to Wilson, but he got his free. Casey comes forward, as does Finnerty. Finnerty makes his way to the penalty spot. Macaulay's over there, so is Conor Livingston. In fact, Livingston comes out to take this free kick instead of Ward. Ward has been waved away. And that excellent defending from Waterford continues as Wilson just, this is the sensible thing, and pumps it downfield straight to McGuinness. Up towards Twardek. Wilson, we can hear him up here saying, oh my God, as he puts the ball straight out of play. Here's Buckley. Wardy steps over it. Twardek's cross. Bounces away from Livingston, claims of handball not given. Macaulay runs forward. Wilson with the header. Coote. O'Keefe. Back to Timmy Sabwali. He's had a very good game. Casey. Ward. That'll do for Waterford. Will be a bit of added time. We've had after substitutions in the second half. The game's petering out now, really. Those haven't got the goal that they wanted to get themselves back into the game. 3 minutes to go, plus any added time. Casey. Sabwali in the way. Here's Byrne. Waterford were under pressure when they were leading 2-0 against St. Pat's last week, and they got a breakaway goal to wrap it up and get a third through O'Connor. Something similar could happen here, but they'll be happy enough to come away with the victory, no matter where it comes, but they have been the better side. Those have huffed and puffed, seen a lot of possession in the second half, but the visitors have held firm. Brian Murphy will have enjoyed his return to Dalymount Park. Breslin and Casey in animated discussion, and as Breslin puts it out of play. Clearance by Breslin. Nicked away from Ward. There's Walsh. Buckley swings it out to Ward. Macaulay's racing to get up ahead of him. O'Mashare is there as well. Here's Ward. Fancies this, I think, himself. Oh, tried to play it to Livingston. Wilson in the way. Not the great clearance, but here's Twardek. Off balance. Sabwali in the way. Share. Back to Livingston. Takes it forward towards Breslin. Burning away. Livingston. Lyons into Buckley. Here's McCauley. Buckley. Sportex cross in towards Ward. Not going to win that battle. And it's headed out to Byrne. Good defending again from Waterford. Down towards Walsh. Dying embers of the second half as the sun bursts through in the last minute of the 90 here at Dalymount Park, signing ever so brightly on the home side, heading for second win in a row, having won 3-0 against St. Pat's last week. Haven't lost at Dalymount Park in the last 4 visits. It's going to be 5. 3 minutes additional time, I'm hearing. Here comes Buckley, and easy for Murphy, who just drops gratefully to the ground and eats up a few more seconds. Profiting from this result will be Shamrock Rovers, who remain 5 points clear at the top of the Premier Division. And we're heading to Cork tomorrow. Don't forget the other games this weekend. Tonight it's Dundalk against Shelburne. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Cork against Shamrock Rovers 2 o'clock tomorrow. Pats against Sligo 5 o'clock tomorrow. Both of those games on Watch LOI. And Finn Harps against Derry. Adrian Eames on commentary on that one. 5 o'clock on Sunday, the Northwest Derby. And those 3 games I mentioned on Watch LOI. Full details watchloi.ie. Into the second minute of added time. This will be an excellent win for Waterford. It'll push them up to 3rd. Musher. Try to get something off Jake Davidson, didn't succeed. Shamrock Rovers on 26 points from 10 games played. Bohemians will move on to 11 games played, as will Waterford. They'll have 21 points to Waterford's 17. Waterford move into the European place, 2 points ahead of Sligo Rovers. Don't forget, next week Sligo Rovers against Bohemians is our live game on RTE2 television. Tony O'Donoghue will present the programme. That's from the showgrounds next Friday night. Here, deep in injury time, it's a 2-goal lead for Waterford. Both goals in the first half. Andy Coote's deflected effort on 24 minutes. The opening goal, the second goal, a wonderful free kick from Tyreek Wilson in added time, made it 2-0. Bohs trying to get something out of the game in the last couple of seconds through Breslin, and it's deflected out for a corner. Ward to take. Murphy comes from his line, and I think Casey got something on that, but he couldn't get it on target. And Murphy, well, he flapped at that one really, and happy to see that Casey's effort dribbles wide, and that should be the last act of the game. Past the 3 minutes of added time, as Murphy prepares to take this goal kick. And referee Damien McGrath